Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of 0 to 60. On today's episode, the main thing we're going to be doing is getting the head off of O'Reilly's motor. Everyone likes getting a bit of head off. I didn't actually tell the YouTubes, but I did get the crank out of it the other day. Now, I really wanted to get it on the engine stand, which I think I mentioned in the live stream. And I needed to get the torque converter off. Getting the crank out was an absolute nightmare. I'll tell the full story shortly, but I am enjoying a lemon squash with a good mate of mine. It's Woody from the Skid Factory.
Ahoy.
Thanks for coming down.
No,
it's almost like he wants to enjoy and savor the broken N54, although I'm trying to convert him. I think if enough comments get there, he's thinking of doing an N54 in a, what chassis?
MA70.
So yeah, guys, if you want to see an N54 in an MA70...
Bit of a teaser. I've had the car for like 3 years now, and it's been sitting, it's in a car cover at the shed, and no one knows about it.
See?
But I'm here to learn. N54, sweet engine. Like, what?
So much potential.
Yeah.
They're pretty cheap.
Potential.
Also, the talk of getting a Haltech onto one obviously opens them up to a lot of other options with engine swaps into other chassis, and that's what's getting him thinking. All right. Now, the other thing that I need to do is a bit of maintenance before we get on. I want to thank, I can't believe it, Glenn for sending this package to us. Yeah, so this is from Glenn. Glenn's a long-term subscriber and just a good dude. He actually sent this to us. I wanted to open up on camera because I know he's listed a few things that are in there, but he said there might be some surprises. But yeah, he saw me struggling with my discount soldering iron doing the BDM repairs, and he sent me a better soldering iron. Got some microfibers. They are always handy. What do we got here? Oh, an aftermarket gauge. All right. I'll have a play with that off camera. We have a torque wrench. Apparently you're supposed to use torque wrenches. I don't know what that means. And, here's all the stuff I'm pretty excited about. All the soldering equipment. Glenn, thanks so much for sending this. Guys, I can't thank the people that support the channel enough. Like, we don't make a lot of money out of YouTube, and we spend a ton, timing light, drill bits, Torx bits, a nice little care package. Oh, O2 kit. Mate, that's good. Glenn, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And I think it's time to get on with today's video. Woody, you ready to pull an N54 apart?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. Actually, I better tell the story about the crank before we actually start getting the head off. So I needed to get the torque converter off, which is currently in the back of O'Reilly in a nice safe space. And what was happening, where this rod is snapped off, well, actually, I think I'd mentioned it on the channel, but I thought the crank was like fully seized. It wasn't. All that had happened, cylinder number 2, where the rod snapped off, it had come round and then wedged in the block. I don't know if we can see, yeah, just up here. Actually, no, where is it? That side. So just up here, that's the rod. It had actually like taken chunks out and wedged tightly in the block. And that's what was stopping the crank from spinning. And it was wedged so tightly, it was stopping the crank from coming out. Now, I did start to film it, but the video just went to shit. And I ended up having to bash the crank out with a sledgehammer. Just on the end of it there. That was the only way I could get it to drop down. But I'd undone all the main caps, all the rods. It was an absolute nightmare. And I ended up getting the engine on the stand, and I wasn't thinking, and some of the pistons have actually fallen down further than they should. So they're going to be interesting to get them out. You can't pull them out the bottom, so they do need to go out the top, but we've got rings trapped. Should be an interesting video. All right, Woody is started on it already.
Are they... Oh.
You've just realised what's happened with the pistons.
Yeah, goddamn.
That's going to be a nightmare. We'll see if we can get it done.
You'll be alright, that'd be...
There's only 2 that have dropped down too much, but we'll see how we go. First thing we need to do, guys, get the rocker cover off. I did have to cut the timing chains. Oh, I'm not in shot. I did have to cut the timing chains to get the crank out. I just cut with an angle grinder. So I'm not going to use any timing tools. Hopefully, we should be able to get the rocker cover off, undo the head bolts, and lift the head off.
You know that this head's going to be cooked too, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to see what the piston looks like.
Yeah, okay.
There's been a few theories about how the failures happened. Personally, I get the impression the rod has bent a little bit, snapped the bottom off the piston, then turned into a windmill. A few people are thinking the piston failed first. I would have thought the piston was going to fail, the top of the piston would have broken. I don't know.
I'm saying rod because looking at number 6 rod, it looks like that's slightly bent too.
That's the other thing. I'm keen to see how many of the other rods have bent as well. Yeah. All right, we're going to switch to time lapse. We'll get it pulled off, and you guys will see us when something interesting is happening. so we've got the cams off, and it's time to pull the injectors. Now, I guess it's going to be interesting to see if they're damaged, or which ones are damaged. So that one's full of oil. Cylinder 1 is okay.
You've had the engine upside down though, yeah?
I have.
Yeah.
Cylinder 2 is okay.
I've got a ding in it, eh? So that's a good sign.
Yeah, these are Index 11 injectors. I know they're not as good as Index 12s, but still don't really want to have throwaway injectors. Cylinder 3 is good. Oh, I'm happy. We haven't damaged. It's full of E85. We haven't damaged the injectors. Also note how easy they're coming out of the block, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, they literally just fall out of the block. Who knows? Anyway, injectors are good.
How long have they been in there for though?
I don't know. I know Dan did have multiple injectors in this motor.
Yeah, so they've been out
A few times. At least they were sealing, right? Alright, we're going to switch back to time lapse. We'll get the head undone. We're going to see this piston carnage very shortly. Trays and shit to store it all in. Well guys, we have everything off. I think everything undone for the head. I'm not sure how that's filmed out, but we cracked the bolts with a breaker bar. They just undid them with the rattle gun. And I didn't follow a sequence, I've just undone it. Who knows what this head's ever going to do again. So, let's see if we can pry it away.
You're banking on the fact that the head's cactus anyway, so that is the reason why you're using a rattle gun. But let's be honest, we all use rattle guns anyway.
We sure do. Alright, the head was not stuck down very well. When we took my one off, it was a bit of a pain. So,
You're going by yourself. Gee, are you weird bits? We're gonna go here?
Yeah. Actually, I'll put a rag down. I want to put it upside down.
So that's why I was saying take the rockers out, but
I didn't think about the rockers falling out, so we'll take the rockers out. Alright, time to take that off. Oh no! Oh, I was hoping that wasn't going to look like that.
there's an 8-ball in there.
Where the hell does that come from? Okay, it's just right. It's just the top.
Yeah, but has it?
It's cracked Ringland.
Get the camera.
Oh.
No, I reckon that it's
All right, this does put a spanner in the works with the theory of the rod going first. Mind you, I suppose once the rod's gone, it's going to crack the Ringlands anyway. Oh. Piston bits everywhere. That's awesome. God, all the other ones look bloody good.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? Has the rod bent and snapped and that's smashed the head, or
I reckon we should have a vote.
has the piston
Failed first, causing the rod to go. And for everyone that was wondering, O'Reilly is an unopened motor. So it's done all that work over those years, and it's still got the 2-hole OEM gasket. So it's never even had a head gasket. Mega engines. All right.
I'm saying rod bent, and this is just the carnage of
The rod bending. And that... Oh, she's not seized. Sorry, I didn't film that. I just touched the piston.
No, that's the top of the piston.
Yes. I wondered if it was like wedged in there or anything.
So
Like
maybe
twisted.
Okay, so maybe that's.
Let's see if I can push it up. Oh, everything's very sharp.
This is just like the top 10 mil of the piston. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, geez, it's the crown's tiny on it. It's like, wow.
Guys, the bore doesn't look too bad. How is the sleeve not...
Are you going to keep this because it's the first engine you've torched or not?
Not only is it the first engine I've torched, this is the first proper blow-up I've ever had. Yes, definitely keeping it.
Get that in.
Going to do something with it. It's going to be
some resin.
bit of memory. Because I'm sure we'll do a lot more N54s before this channel's done. All right. Let's work out how we're going to store all this, and we'll get all the other pistons out. And I'm keen to see how many other rods are bent.
Leave a comment below, and you can win this piston once you sign up to 0to60.com.
It's almost like he's a professional YouTuber.
What's your website? What's your thing?
It's 0to60.com.
Yeah, that's the go.
All right, I'm going to work on piston 6. Actually, just so that you guys know what's happened, I mentioned it earlier. Because I had it just sitting there on the stand and no crank in it, the piston has fallen down and now the rings have popped out. So to push that piston out, I've got to get it perfectly flat. Or do I break the ring out? I don't know. It's going to be a challenge.
The Germans know what's up, eh?
This is the first late model Beamer engine you've pulled apart, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never done any Euro stuff before.
They're good bits of kit. Does the rod look bent?
I reckon number 6. Number 6 is definitely bent. That one's not.
Oh, holy shit. Yeah. Oh my god, it's bent and twisted. Holy. Alright, we'll get the rest out. Might switch time lapse. There's going to be a bit of fiddling. You'll see us in a second. You reckon if you tap it...
Come on, man.
We're just trying to get the last bit of cylinder... Oh, it's off. See? We could try and pick the rest out. Alright guys, so we have the pistons and rods that have come out. Obviously cylinder 2 is a bit skinnier than the others. Now we can see that cylinder 6 was bent. We could see that from, well, when it was still in there. We'll get to that in a minute, but let's check the others. The others don't look too bad going across the line here. Ah, shit. I got a torch and then forgot about it. So, let's check cylinder 1. So, I'd say not bent. What do you reckon, Woody?
Can't really see it from here, no.
No. Okay. Cylinder 2 looks straight that way. I'd say not bent there either. Cylinder 3. Oh, sorry, that's cylinder 3. Cylinder 4. Even the wear on the piston skirts, it's pretty minimal. Considering what this motor was going through, it's bloody amazing. Alright, cylinder 4 looks good that way. I'd say she's good that way as well. Oh my god, we're playing dominoes. Cylinder 5, that one looks a little bit distorted. And it's a little bit bent at the top. You can see it curves at the top, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, also the rod doesn't really want to sit there. And cylinder 6, definitely bent that way. And bent that way. You can see it curves. Oh my god. It curves that way at the top. But aside from that, all the pistons, the side skirts, like I don't... This motor's really impressive. I'm impressed. And we got a lot of parts that we could potentially reuse if we decide to start blowing these things up willy-nilly. Cams are good, injectors are good, cranks definitely not good.
No. Just get another rod and piston and slap
Put it all back together.
We'll just get some emery tape on that, mate. It'll be fine.
Even that, where it's seized, like I've never pulled a seized motor apart, but the journal looks...
Well, it wasn't a bearing failure, that's why, because...
Oh, it would have kept spinning.
Well,
actually, you're right. That's only got wedged in there because it was twisted.
Because it hit the block.
Yeah. Nothing looks scored or anything. I don't know. Mind you, it has... It's no good. It's no good. I was trying to be a bit too much of a gypsy there. All right. But yeah, we got good cams, cam gears, injectors. Probably won't reuse any of these pistons. And the head is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So we did actually pull out the spark plug, which I did that on video. The spark plug is a bit misshaped. But, dude, I think the head's good.
Yeah, you'll find out once you pull the valves out and stuff, but it doesn't look...
The valves are seated pretty well. I mean, it'd need to be re-skimmed, but I don't think it's a throwaway. So that's good.
No.
That is awesome, because we need to get some head work done once the bank account allows.
This can be the dummy head, and then when you die grind too far into the coolant passage, then it's a throwaway.
Oh, we'll see how we go. All right, guys, hope you've enjoyed me and Woody hanging out, not drinking beer, but drinking lemon squash. We've got the O'Reilly engine fully disassembled. I'm pretty happy that we've got so many reusable parts. Not that we need them straight away, but it's just good to have it as spares. I'd sort of written off so much of this motor, but it's actually not too bad. Look at the carnage.
If you got a spare N54 and a manual, send me a message on Instagram.
Yeah, guys, if you're watching this, you've made it this far. He is genuinely thinking about doing an N54 swap into an old Supra. Go and comment on the most recent Skid Factory video, N54 the world, and they'll do it. All right. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you tomorrow.
That's sick. How good's that?
Yeah.
How good's this thing?
Oh, man, what am I so long?
You're like
Soldering tip cleaner.
inspection. Are you gonna get really angry because I'm filming stuff still, and you're gonna have excess footage?
No, I'll let you up.
Come here, look at me.
Fucking hell. This is how you end up with